This was done here at my studio at School of Realist Art in Overland Park, Kansas, and the model here is Amanda. You can see the finished drawing over on the right-hand side, and I decided to focus on the portrait for this one, even though that is really challenging from life because just having things off a little bit can make it look weird and not have a likeness. But I really liked the way the light was hitting her face from the other side of the room, and it made that little edge light, so I just couldn't resist. You're going to notice that all my lines here are really, really light. And that's because I am afraid of commitment, but really it's because I want to be able to change my mind. I know I'm not going to get everything right the first time, so I try to build things up slowly and make darker marks once I am sure of myself. I start with some lines and then pretty quickly I start shading in basic shadow shapes. I'm not really trying to get the eyes, nose, and mouth, but what I'm really looking at is the shadow that each of the features is creating. Now, here's the bit of wisdom. If you look at the face right now, it can look pretty scary. And if I were to get freaked out by how things look in this early stage and how it doesn't really look beautiful and it doesn't really look like the model, I can get freaked out and then my attention goes to the drawing. And if my attention goes to the drawing, I'm basically screwed because the drawing does not have any information for me, especially if I'm not happy with the way that the drawing is looking. So for me, the key here is not to so much worry what the drawing is looking like, but instead to try and keep my focus on the model because all the information is over on the model. So if I can prevent myself from freaking out so that I can continue to see clearly and stay focused, then eventually the drawing will improve and come together. So the next time that you look at your drawing and you start to have that feeling like, oh no, like I don't like how this drawing looks right now. If somebody saw it, I would be really embarrassed. Try to ignore what's happening on your drawing. Don't pay very much attention to that. Relax and keep looking at the model and look for what's interesting. Look for the spaces in between those features. Look at the forehead shape, look at the cheek shape, and try not to focus so much on getting the nose or the eyes or the mouth to look right. Okay, so that's kind of the key here. Look at those bigger shapes, try to notice things and change things without getting freaked out about it. So once I felt like I had a decent situation going on with the face, I started to move outwards. It's not always the best advice to start with something small like the face, but in this instance, I only had 20 minutes and then the model was going to be gone. So I decided to pour my effort into the face, and once I felt good with it, then start to work out because at this point, if I had this drawing and the face was done, but I just had some outlines for the figure and a small indication of the hair, that wouldn't be too bad. I would be happy with that. So I decided, let's get that done. And now that I have that pretty much done, I can begin to work on the rest of the figure. And undoubtedly, I did take a look at the time just to have an idea. Do I really have enough time left to get any amount of shading here in the arm and in the chest? And I found that I had time for minimal shading. So instead of getting a lot of detail in there and a lot of information, I kept it pretty basic and pretty subdued in those areas so that the focus just stays on the portrait. If you enjoyed watching this drawing and you would like some specific lessons that help you with figure drawing, check out patreon.com/School of Realist Art. I've got a lot of figure drawing references here that you can work from and tons of demonstration videos. If you are also interested in an entire figure drawing course, check out figuredrawingacademy.com. I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll see you next time.